Kane and Kanaloa, two gods from the mystical land of Kahiki. Many of our stories speak of their travels to Hawaii, creating springs of fresh water to be mixed into ava, the intoxicating drink of the gods. One story says that Kane and Kanaloa were siblings, living for a time on the island of Lanai with their youngest brother, Kane Apua. Kane? Kanaloa? Brothers? Is this the day we fly back to Kahiki? Oh, how I miss our home, the places, the sights, our family, Kahiki. Kane? Kanaloa? Kanaloa? Oh, I guess you two are busy. Well, I'll just go and fetch water for your ava, like I do every day. You see, Kane and Kanaloa could both transform themselves into birds, but Kane Apua could not. So he waited patiently for the day his brothers would fly him back home to Kahiki. Oh, water! Water! It's so hot. The sun is relentless on this island. In Kahiki, the sun is never too hot. It's always just right. And in Kahiki, I never have to travel so far to get water. There's water everywhere you look. Water to swim in. Water to bathe in. And water to drink. Uh-oh. Kane Apua drank too much of the water, so frantically he ran to the nearest shrub so he could take care of his pilikia. But the shrub was just uphill of the spring, so when he went to relieve himself, it trickled back down into the water below. I better get this water back down to Kane and Kanaloa. They get really cranky when they don't have their ava. When Kane Apua returned, the brothers were sitting, waiting for the kanoa to be filled. Kane Apua poured the water, mixed the ava, and served it to his brothers. And suddenly, their eyes went big, their faces paled as ava spewed from their mouths. They were outraged that Kane Apua defiled their water, and in a fury, they leaped high into the air, taking the form of birds, and they flew back to Kahiki. Brothers, wait! It was an accident! Oh, please don't leave me alone! I'm sorry! For peeing in your water. Days passed, months went by, and the brothers never returned. How could they have left Kane Apua all alone, never to return to his homeland? He grew angry with them and vowed to find a way back to Kahiki to confront them. Then one day, while staring into the distance, he saw the answer to his problem. It was a va'a, a canoe, but not just any canoe. It had two massive hulls carved from the trunks of ancient trees. The sails, shaped like crab claws, used the power of the wind to move it forward. This was a va'a kaulua, a voyaging canoe, made big and strong to travel great distances. Kane Apua reached out to commune with the kilo on board. Great Kilo, seer of things and reader of omens, I am Kane Apua. Tell me, wise one, who sails these waters? Kane Apua, Wahanui is the chief of this va'a. He leads us to the land of Kahiki. Great Kilo, it is my desire to travel with your chief. I have great powers that can aid in this journey. Please, wise one, I require but a small spot on the pula. No! This va'a already has a kilo, me. And besides, there's no space on the pula. Then, great Kilo, allow me to ride down below in the kino. No, the kino is full as well. Then what about the ama or the iaku or the manu? No, no, no. The Kilo denied every request that Kane Apua made till finally he gave up. But just as the va'a began to sail away without him, he felt something in the air. Great Kilo, helemayanay kaino. A storm comes, powerful indeed. Turn back and moor the va'a. How dare you? No one orders the Kilo of Wahanui. And besides, I feel no storm coming. And with that, they sailed on. But not long after, the winds began to build and build until a fierce storm engulfed the va'a, tossing it about. Supplies were soaked, lives nearly lost. The chief Wahanui knew then that Kane Apua was wiser than his Kilo. And when the storm finally died down, Kane Apua was allowed on board. But day after day, the Kilo stared menacingly at him. One day, he stared so hard that he didn't notice the thick fog forming around them. This fog was sent by Kane and Kanaloa, who knew that their brother sought revenge. The fog grew so thick that no one could see. When it finally lifted, the men were terrified by what they saw. A dog! A giant dog stands upon the water! It is the dog of the goddess Hina, sent to devour us whole! I knew that Kane Apua was bad luck. Now we're all going to die! Oh! Great Kilo! That is no dog. It is Kane Hunamoku, the hidden island of Kane. Those who have never sailed there are struck with fear by false illusions. Holamua ina Kane, sail on and you will see. Though fearful, the chief Wahanui trusted Kane Apua. And as they neared the monstrous dog, it faded from view, revealing the beautiful and enticing island of Kane Hunamoku. But that was not the island they sought. As the journey continued, days passed, uneventful, but Kane Apua knew that his brothers would not allow them safe passage to Kahiki. So when they heard the low rumbling beneath the sea, he was not at all surprised. The rumbling grew louder and louder. The water around them began to churn as though something were rising to the surface, something big. Then suddenly, a huge rock breached the surface of the water. It grew and grew and grew until a cliff 100 feet high stood towering above them. More rumbling was heard as a second cliff shot up into the air. For a moment, all was quiet as the men held their breath in wonder. Then the cliffs began to tremble. The cliffs, they're moving! they'll crash and crumble upon us. Kane Apua, wise one, please use your power, save us. I know these cliffs. They are Paliuli and Palikea, two demigods sent by Kane and Kanaloa to destroy us. Ena kupua heva o lua o Kane Apua no ina pepehiau nui ko hila hila. E hoi ke kaio Paliuli, e hoi ke kaio Palikea, mai ana ino ya mako. The cliffs heard the chiding words and halted moments before crushing the va'a, then shamefully receded back into the water below. The men shouted in excitement, thanking Kane Apua for saving their lives, but their hardest test was yet to come. To reach Kahiki, Kane Apua knew that they needed the help of someone powerful. So he dove into the water in search of Honunui Kua Ea Ea. She was a giant of the sea, an ancient turtle with great power. If she revealed her face to him, she would help. But if she turned her massive back, they would all die. Into the deep he searched until he came upon what looked like a small mountain beneath the sea. It was her, Honunui Kua Ea Ea, the Ancient One. He stood before her massive shell and spoke. Grandmother, Grandmother, I am Kane Apua, your offspring. Please, grandmother, show me your face in my time of need. The shell moved back and forth, kicking up huge clouds of sand. This massive creature could crush Kane Apua with the slightest move of her body. He panicked and began to swim for his life, but something stopped him. It was a feeling, calm, comfort. He turned to see the eyes of his kupuna looking down upon him, eyes that held centuries of wisdom. Mo'opuna, it fills me with aloha to see you. I know why you have come. I have seen it. Your brothers are powerful indeed and control many elements, but I will help. Take this rope. It is made from my na'au, my insides. May it protect and secure you in your time of need. Now go forth, my kupu, and take with you the strength of your ancestors. The next day brought them to the land they sought, Kahiki. Using the rope of his ancestress, Kane Apua quickly moored the va'a. Then the air shifted and his face paled with fear. Kane Apua knew that his brothers possessed the ipumakani, or la'amaumau, a thing of legend. La'amaumau was a woman who controlled the winds from Hawaii to Kaula. She put those winds into a gourd, calling upon each one by name, summoning their power at will. Upon dying, her bones were put into that same gourd, the ipumakani, or la'amaumau. To hold that gourd is to hold power unimaginable. The winds came quickly. Kauaula the roaring, Ola knew the piercing, ki pu'upu that chills to the bone, all were unleashed upon them. When one gale ended, another would hit them even harder than before. The storm lasted for 10 days, but through it all, the rope of Na'au held strong, keeping them safe from sure destruction. When calm finally ended, not one life was lost. Na kua na uma kua na kupuna. Mahalo ya oko. Thank you, my ancestors. You have kept us safe and guided me home. With all the confidence of a true God, Kane Apua stepped foot on his homeland. His brothers, thinking they had won, were drunk with ava and were unable to move. So Kane Apua sent the chief Wahanui to stand upon their chests, signifying triumph. He then gave the chief a pilikua for his help, a magical creature with 2 heads, which he took back with him on his voyage to Hawaii. Kane Apua stayed in Kahiki, content on his homeland and respected by his brothers. Now, I end this first story today with a traditional Hawaiian saying. That saying is, Pipi holo ka'au. Let the sprinkled tales travel far. Aloha mai kako, everyone. My name is Moses. I come to you from the islands of Hawaii. My home island is the island of Maui, and I bring with me the stories of our kupuna, the stories of our ancestors. The one that I just did for you is one that I entitled Kane Apua. It's taken from my research of a story called Wahanui that several of our historians have left for us, that I have adapted to my style of storytelling. I have just a few more stories to tell you. The next one, and by the way, all of these stories have to do with navigation and voyaging in some way. And the next story I'd like to do for you is one that was taught to me by a close friend of mine and a mentor of mine, the amazing storyteller Kealoha Kele Kolio. And this one is entitled Hamumu, the Whale Rider. Here we go. Sorry. Get my microphone to stay on and I'll start for you. All right, once again, this story is called Hamumu, the Whale Rider. Ku'uwa kamali'i. The days of my youth. I remember them well. But there is one day that I remember more clearly than the rest. The people of Kohala were going about their daily routine. The men were tending to the lo'i, the taro patches. The women were beating kapa for our clothing, while my sister and I were learning a new hula. No luna kale kai no kama aleva na kam kai na nui kale ale. But no sooner had we finished that hula than a young child came running up shouting, "Kohola! Kohola!" Everyone ran to the shore to find that there was indeed a whale stranded in the bay. Now, the people of Hawaii never hunted the whale, but in situations like this, we deemed it to be a godsend, so many ran to get their cutting tools. But I was somewhat kolohe, rascally, and I decided to play a game and make a sport of this. So I climbed on the back of that whale, I ran its full length, and I tossed myself into the sea like one does off of a cliff. I did it again. I thought that I could entice my sister and the other children to forsake the task at hand and join me in the fun, so I jumped on his back for another run. But just before reaching the end, he began to heave his body and flap his tail. It caught me by surprise, and I fell flat on my face. The whale began to move from the shore out into the bay. The villagers were stunned, and as that whale began to pick up speed, I could hear the shouts of my sister. "Hamumu, jump! Hamumu, come back! Hamumu, you naughty boy, you're going to get it!" but all I could do was hold on for dear life, my arms clinging to the sides, grasping the barnacles that covered his great body. The whale took me out to sea. Days went by, maybe months. I lost track of time. But as I voyaged on the back of that whale, a strange feeling came over me. I felt protected. And stranger still was when that whale dove beneath the water, I didn't drown. It was as though the whale were magically keeping me alive. It showed me all the wonders of the deep, the cavernous caves, the trenches that seemed to go on for miles. There were turtles by the hundreds, strange fish of every kind. There was the giant he'e with his 8 moving tentacles, and of course, the man-eating mano with his razor-sharp teeth. But none of these could harm me while on the back of my large friend. When the journey finally ended, I found myself in a strange land. As I walked up the beach, I felt someone following me, so I turned around to see a stranger standing behind me. Only it wasn't a stranger. I knew this man. There's something about his eyes. No, it couldn't be. It was the whale. Only it wasn't a whale. It was a man. He explained that he was in fact a god. And he brought me to Kahiki, the land where the gods live. I was then taken to the heiau, the temple, to live with the kahuna, the priests of Kahiki. There I stayed for many years, learning the art of their profession to become a kahuna myself. Now, when the time came that I learned all there was to learn, a wondrous canoe was made of coconut shells, and I was sent on my voyage back home to Hawaii. Upon reaching my homeland, the villagers came out to greet me excitedly, but no one seemed to recognize me. It had been so long. But then a voice cried out from the crowd, "It is Hamumu. It is Hamumu returned from his watery grave. It is my little brother, come back after all these years. My kaikamahine, my sister." We embraced, and I explained all of the whale, the god Kahiki. I was then taken to the chiefs of Hawaii, of Kohala, and upon learning that I was a kahuna, they placed me in charge of building a heiau, which still stands to this very day. Mo'okini heiau, temple to the gods, a testament to the day that I voyaged on the back of that whale to Kahiki, the land of the gods. Now, I have one more story for you. It's a very short story, and it is actually, it is a hula. Not many people realize that hula is not just dance, it's not just entertainment, it is in fact our oldest traditional form of storytelling and our strongest link that we have to our ancestors. So the next time you watch hula, just remember that it is very entertaining, but there are many more layers to what hula is. The hula that I'm going to do for you is, for one thing, a hula noho. Noho means to sit, so it's a hula that I'm going to do in the seated position. This is one that was taught to me by my kumu, my teacher, Mapuana de Silva, who leads Halaumo Halailima, the hula school that I am a part of. And this hula, it's from a chant that was uttered by the son of Mo'i Keha, Mo'ikeha was a chief that lived in Tahiti, and he voyaged with his family and his people from Tahiti to Hawaii. And upon reaching Hawaii, after months at sea, they see the islands of Hawaii, and it's as though the islands are rising up out of the sea, because as you get closer to the islands, it appears that it would be actually rising. And so they liken, or they compare that rising from the sea to a person or to a man. So when you see me in this hula do this, this is a move for a kanaka, a person. It's a move that I'll repeat throughout the hula, and that's comparing the islands to a person. But to go a little deeper into the words happen to be in Hawaiian, so you probably won't understand them, but just to give you an idea of some of these words, they mention the ancestors of the islands, the genealogy of the islands. So it's not just comparing the islands to a person, it is acknowledging that the islands are living beings that were born into this world, hello duck, that were born into this world from a whole line of people, just how we were born into this world. So it's acknowledging that. So the name of this hula is Eia Hawaii. Himele Hawaii, Hawaii, he moku, he kanaka, Hawaii, he moku, he kanaka, he kamanaka iki. E puali mai kapau he kanaka Hawaii a he kamanaka iki e puali mai kapau he kanaka Hawaii mai moa ulanui a kia o kanaloa he kanaka Hawaii mai moa ulanui a kia o kanaloa he kanaka Hawaii a he mo opuna na kahiko la o kapula na ke he kanaka Hawaii a he mo opuna na kahiko la o kapula na ke he kanaka Hawaii, e ala, he mele no kahiko, Eia Hawaii. So I want to thank all of you for joining me today. Once again, my name is Moses. I come to you from Hawaii, bringing to you the stories of our kupuna, the stories of our ancestors. Aloha mai kako. Have a wonderful day, everyone.